Hi viewers, this is Tony Green with another episode of Success with Cars. Today we're actually going to talk about a little fun program here about how people are paid in the car business. This should be episode 3 of the series if you're watching in order, and I think it's really important to get this one off my chest, or off your chest actually, because this is going to clear up a lot of problems that I see a lot of junior sales reps have. So without further ado, let's get started with you, the sales rep. There's two types of pay plans that are going on right now. The first one is a really starting to pick up a lot of waves, and it's flats. What flat is like regardless of what you sell the car for, you get paid $100, or some stores are $50. Some stores maybe less, some stores maybe more, but the flat aspect of it is designed to try to take your emotion out of the whole negotiating process. A lot of stores that do this also have what they call like a no hassle, no haggle style approach, kind of CarMaxy like. This is becoming a popular model because obviously if they're cutting you out of a huge percentage of the profit, then every car that they sell is less money that they have to pay out and more money that they get to keep in their pocket. Typically with flats, you'll also see that you have what they call a salary. And those kind of go hand in hand. So you get paid a salary with your flats, and it does remove a little bit of the whole negotiation fears, I guess, away from you. The second way that you've been getting paid now is what they would call like a percentage. You get a paid percentage of the overall profit, so to speak. Now, when you sell a new car, the profit's going to be based off of anything you make over invoice. So if you sell a car at invoice, technically there's no profit, even though, as you know, there's holdback, which dealer money anyway. So I mean, for you, it literally starts off at invoice. So if you sell a car for $500 over invoice, you would get a percentage of that money right then and there. So yeah, the percentages range anywhere between 20% at the lowest of the lows, up to about 40% at the highest of the highs. I've worked both spectrums. The 40% was definitely nice. It was on new vehicles with 25% on used. And 25% on the used aspect of it is very common. As far as used pay goes, it's normally whatever the car ACVs plus repairs, ROs, and things that needed to be worked on the vehicle, and reconditioning fees. So, like for example, if you take a car in for $6,000, it may have to have $1,500 worth of work. So in your mind, you think you're selling it at $9,000. You're like, oh wow, I just made $3,000. No. It's $1,500 worth of work to top on that $6,000, so it's a $1,500 deal, which is still pretty nice, But that's just the way that it breaks down. You also typically get volume bonuses and award money. So if you're salesman of the month, a lot of places pay you some money, or if you sell 10 cars, you get like X amount of dollars, 15, and things like that. Different dealerships are going to offer different pay plans. And when you're choosing the best dealership for you, what you do is you sit down and you talk over with the management and the ownerships, and you see how much they do per copy on the front, how many cars they sell, how many guys. You take that into account with how many guys are on the floor, so you can figure out what chunk you should be able to do. For the most, it's like 10 cars. And then tally it up and see, okay, if there's a volume bonus at 10 cars, I get paid like a G note, and I'm averaging $200 in my pocket per deal. So you do that, that's $3,000, based off of that math. If that's something you can live with, that's great. Vet guys like myself can walk into a spot and I could sit down and look it over and be like, okay, without trying, I should be able to make $6,000, and if I actually put my effort in based off of this pay plan, I should be able to hit the upper pinnacles. And I've tried a few places out, and their pay plans were pure crap. And I'm like, man, I rolled 19 cars and I got paid $4,000. That's a ripoff. There's no reason for you to stay at a spot like that. Another thing to consider too is PAC. And what PAC is a percentage of the money, or not even a percentage, so to speak. It's actually like a figurative flat dollar amount that gets taken out from the gross of the deal that goes specifically to the ownership, or in some cases management teams as well too. You got to ask about PAC, because what happens is, like, let's say you're averaging 2Gs a copy, so every car you sell is $2,000 front end profit for you, but there's a $500 PAC. They take $500 from that $2,000 of every single car deal. So even if it's a blower, they take $500 of that, and it goes towards their profit margin or their profit line. Where that'll affect you at is, instead of, like, let's just say you have that really nice 40% pay plan, and you sell a car at $2,000 over. You are up here thinking you made $800, but the reality of the matter is that they're going to take away $500, and you get your 40% off of the $1,500. So that's pretty important to know up front as well too. So next, let's talk about the management squad. Why is this important for you to know? I know a lot of managers are probably like, no, don't tell how we get paid. Listen, if I tell your people how you get paid, they'll understand how you get paid, and it's not going to be counterproductive. All right, so flat out, I've seen 3 different systems. System 1 is the shittiest, his pay-per-car. You got that manager that sits down on a TL, and he gives everything away. He's not invested to the gross of the deal, therefore he gets paid per car. Really, really simple, because he has no emotional attachment to any form of profit. You go to those stores where they're the ones that are giving the lies out, and they're just, giving rock bottom prices, below yada yada, stuff like that. That's how they're getting paid. And their whole job is to get people in the door. They work the deal backwards to maximize their profit, whatever profit they can grab for the store. But at the end of the day, there's a set dollar amount that they're going to let the car roll. And you will figure that out really quick. Let's take Subaru, for example. You got a base Forester that the invoice minus holdback, minus, close to triple net is $22,000. You got that manager that literally will try out a customer at, that brings them in for a $21,000 quote and tries them at 23, and then when he can't get it, and he comes out and he's like, okay, I'll do this number here. That's how he gets paid. The second one is the exact opposite. It's your gross guy. Your gross guy is the one that just gets paid off of gross. You got that manager that you're one car away from hitting your bonus, and he refuses to discount $1. Welcome to that guy. They have an emotional attachment towards the amount of money that they get paid. Now, that's a typical store that's not selling a lot of units, so they're not in what I would call the combined one, which we're going to go over next. But every unit is very profitable, and they'll make on 30 cars what some dealerships make on 70. Those tend to be your smaller town guys too. And then the final one is both. They get a percentage of per copy that they roll. They get a percentage of the gross, and then they also get a percentage of the cash that comes at the end. Finally, your F&I guy is the next one to cover. And your F&I guy gets paid specifically on the back end product. Now, this video, I'm gonna break off a little bit. I'm gonna ask you to show some serious love for your F&I. One of the biggest breakoffs I see at a lot of dealerships is that the younger salesmen, or even vets, and F&I go against each other, because they don't, the sales aspect of it doesn't really have an understanding of what F&I does. F&I is the guy that's calling on your deals. They're the ones that's on the phone with they're on the phone with the banks. They're the ones that are getting everything approved and bought. And depending on how the structure of the deal is lined up, they may have to cut in your front. I want to tell you that, because back is never guaranteed, you don't have to worry about your F&I looking to screw you over. So they put in a lot of work in order to get things approved for your customers, and sometimes it's going to have to be cut. Let it go. But yeah, they get paid specifically off of back. That's it. Your financing and things like that. And a lot of times you're up here thinking that they're scoring you, and they're not really even getting paid on a deal at all either, because there's no room for a markup or anything like that. So that's just a quick breakdown as to how dealerships pay. Now that you have a little bit of a better understanding about that and what you should look for when finding the right pay plan, but it also how everybody else gets paid, you'll have a better understanding, and you won't be butting your heads with your management team as much as you probably would be if you didn't have any concept of how they get paid. I hope you liked the video. If you did, just go ahead and hit the button right below. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment. If you want to curse me out for giving away trade secrets, please go ahead. Personally, I don't care. It's common knowledge if you read enough or research enough as well too. If you have any suggestions as to what other tips or things I can get for you, also leave that in the comments as well. I'll try to respond. And if you like everything, please subscribe. Have a wonderful day.